In the boys' universe, speed isn't a superpower. It's a corporate death sentence. We look at A-Train and see a corporate parasite, a murderer, and a desperate addict. But strip away the Vought branding, and you uncover the most brilliantly written tragedy in the entire series. A man who had to be completely broken before he could finally cross the finish line as a free man. Today, we unravel the psychological evolution of A-Train. The ultimate irony of the world's fastest man is that he spent his entire life running from his own shadow. For A-Train, losing his physical speed was never the real threat. Becoming a depreciated asset to Vought was his death sentence. To the casual viewer, he presents the perfect illusion, an arrogant, untouchable superstar obsessed with trophies, basking in the elite glow of the Seven. But strip away the corporate branding, and you find a man driven by pure, suffocating terror. Vought's management instilled a brutal reality into his psyche. In their corporate math, second place is identical to garbage. This profound insecurity is the true engine behind his compound V addiction. He willingly destroys his own heart and mental stability because the prospect of aging out, of becoming a washed-up B-squatter reduced to a freak show racing against horses, is infinitely more terrifying to him than an early grave. Listen to the raw, unfiltered panic when he exposes the ultimatum given to him by Madeline Stillwell.
You know what Stillwell told me? If I don't win, I'm out. Nobody wants the second fastest man in the Seven.
In Season 2, A-Train's supposed redemption is nothing more than a carefully calculated corporate takeover. Don't be fooled by his sudden alignment with the side of justice. This wasn't about morality. It was a cold-blooded career sabotage. On the surface, he appears to be an unexpected ally for Starlight and Huey. He delivers the killing blow to Stormfront's reputation, exposing her Nazi past to the world. To a casual observer, it looks like a man finally found his conscience. But the subtext is much darker. In the cold, analytical eyes of Stan Edgar, A-Train was already a liability, a has-been replaced by the younger, faster Shockwave. He only saw a gap in the roster because Shockwave's head literally exploded. Stormfront wasn't just a monster to him. She was a political roadblock who actively blocked his return to power. He didn't leak those files to save the world from a Nazi. He leaked them to liquidate a rival and clear his path back to the boardroom. His true motivation is laid bare when he snarls at Huey, stripping away any pretense of virtue.
I want back in, so I need her gone. Fuck that Nazi bitch.
And the moment the dust settles, there's no reflection on the lives saved. Only the hollow, narcissistic roar of a man who got his brand back.
A-Train is back, baby! Woo!
True justice does not exist in A-Train's vocabulary, not until he is forced to choke on it. In Season 3, his transition from an untouchable predator to a helpless, agonizing bystander delivers the most poetic karma in the entire series. On the surface, we see A-Train attempting to act as a genuine protector. He confronts Blue Hawk over his racially motivated brutality, orchestrates a public apology, and screams for justice when Blue Hawk snaps and leaves A-Train's brother, Nathan, permanently paralyzed. It looks like a tragic hero fighting a corrupt system. But the subtext exposes a suffocating layer of hypocrisy. A-Train, a man who has left a trail of shattered bodies in his wake, is finally forced to look into a mirror. When he demands corporate accountability from Vought, CEO Ashley Barrett delivers a psychological execution. She brutally reminds him that to Vought, Nathan is nothing more than collateral damage, exactly like Robin, exactly like Popclaw. A Train never cared about the innocent lives he destroyed. He only cares now because the violence finally breached his own front door. Listen to the absolute venom in Ashley's voice as she strips away his right to be a victim.
You did not give a shit about all the collateral you caused then. Now all of a sudden you care? Because it happened to you? Go f*** yourself.
Consumed by pure selfish rage, A-Train abandons the very protocols of justice he begged for. At hero-gasm, the roles completely reverse. The arrogant speedster becomes the executioner, and the aggressive speed addict Blue Hawk is reduced to begging for his life on the pavement. He drags Blue Hawk to his death. It isn't justice. It is raw, unhinged vengeance from a broken man who realizes his corporate master will never save him. If Season 3 shattered A-Train's ego, Season 4 is where he quietly attempts to piece together his soul. But in the ultimate, ruthless chess game of the boys, even a genuine search for redemption can be weaponized by the House. On the surface, A-Train appears to complete his evolution into an actual hero. He risks everything to act as the informant for Butcher's team, saves MM's life, and actively blocks him from abandoning the fight. He cuts his tracker, openly humiliates the Deep, and successfully escapes with his family. It looks like a triumphant, definitive break from a toxic master. But the subtext exposes a devastating psychological crossfire between pure intent and absolute corporate manipulation. A-Train's internal motivation undergoes a seismic shift. For the very first time, his validation doesn't come from roaring stadiums, PR campaigns, or corporate metrics. It comes from the unrecorded awe of a single kid in an ER waiting room. Doing the right thing in total silence gave him the one feeling Vought never could. He stopped hating himself. Yet the harrowing tragedy of his Season 4 arc is that his moral awakening was entirely orchestrated. Without his knowledge, Sister Sage anticipated his guilt and played his conscience with cold, mathematical precision. He wasn't outsmarting Vought. He was serving as Sage's perfect misinformation delivery system. He saved his soul, but tactically, he remained a puppet on a string. Listen to the raw, quiet vulnerability when he confesses his ultimate turning point to MM.
That felt better than anything that I had ever done at Vought. 'Cause for once, I didn't hate myself.
And immediately contrast that beautiful spark of humanity with the chilling absolute superiority of Sister Sage as she reveals the strings.
But A-Train only leaked exactly the information I wanted Butcher and his team to know. He was the perfect disinformation delivery system.
True freedom in the universe of the boys is rarely achieved by surviving. It is achieved by realizing your greatest oppressor is entirely hollow. A-Train's execution in Season 5 is not a tragic defeat. It is his ultimate, triumphant victory over the defining flaw of his existence, his fear. On the surface, the casual viewer witnesses a brutal, merciless end. A battered, bleeding A-Train is cornered by Homelander after aiding Butcher's team, and his life is violently extinguished. But the psychological subtext entirely inverts the power dynamic of the room. For 5 seasons, A-Train was suffocated by a pathetic terror of corporate obsolescence and Homelander's wrath. Yet, stripped of his Vought branding, his speed, and his future, he reaches the absolute pinnacle of his humanity. Looking up at the most dangerous entity on the planet, A-Train experiences a profound epiphany. He realizes that take away the lasers and the indestructible flesh, and Homelander is nothing but an empty suit, a fragile, lonely narcissist begging to be worshipped. A train stops running. Having finally tasted genuine self-worth in the quiet shadows of an ER, he no longer fears the corporate god. By laughing directly into Homelander's face, A-Train psychologically strips him of his power. Listen to the absolute mental superiority in his dying breath as he shatters Homelander's ego.
What was I so afraid of? You are fucking nothing.
Really?
Really? You're just an empty fucking suit. Take away these powers. And what are you, huh? Pathetic. Weak. Sniveling fucking loser.
His bones are crushed, and his body falls. but for the very first time in his tragic, exhausted life. A train crossed the finish line as a completely free man. A train's arc leaves us with a haunting reality. True redemption doesn't erase your sins. It simply demands your life. Did his final sacrifice truly redeem the blood on his hands? Or was he just a dying man taking his final revenge on Homelander? Drop your raw thoughts in the comments. If you demand video essays that strip down the ugly, unfiltered truth behind your favorite characters, hit subscribe. This is Heisen Universe, and I'll see you in the next breakdown.